107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B.
By 1 o'clock, I met Countess Vaughn. By 5 o'clock, they were negotiating the Parkers.
You are lying.
That's just how I became a quote-unquote actress.
Jesus.
See, when it's your time, it's your time.
Yes.
And how has Hollywood been treating you since then? I mean, we see you dipping in and out. We saw you grab that Oscar girl for Precious, but now we see like a little bit of a change since everything has come out with the Oscar.
Hollywood has been absolutely wonderful. I've gone to that place and met some beautiful people, have some great opportunities. So it's not Hollywood. Everyone wants to put it on, how has Hollywood treated you? Absolutely amazing. I have great memories with some people in this town called Hollywood. The reason why you haven't seen me in a while, because you get to a place where you got to put the line in the sand and you got to say, I can no longer accept those offers. And after I won the award, the offers and the scripts that were coming, they just didn't make sense.
But everybody says stuff like that. You get the Oscar quote-unquote curse. You know, they say even Halle Berry went through it when she got her stuff and she wasn't given really, really spectacular roles. How do you combat that?
Well, if you know your history about Hollywood, and when we first got introduced to Hollywood, and it goes all the way back to the early 1900s, the whole feeling always was, all you have to do is make them famous. You don't have to make them wealthy. So if you know the history and you just watch how it's happened through Hollywood, and there's always been just one. Step and Fetch It was the highest paid entertainer of the time. You had Sidney Poitier, it was just Sidney Poitier. You had Denzel, it was just Denzel. You had Eddie Murphy, it was just Eddie Murphy. Now, and we're so happy for our brother Kevin Hart, but right now it's just Kevin Hart. So when you know the history of it, you understand it. All the stand that we're taking is we're saying, we got to worry about the sister who's not here yet, as the sister's worried about me, like your Hattie McDaniels, and we stand on a lot of their shoulders. And they're saying, hey, Monique, we already took them bumps and bruises. You now have options. And that's why it's so important for us to support Blackbird, because my husband and I have real ownership in that. And we didn't have to wait on the ship to come in. We swam out to our ship.
Okay.
And what we call, and all entertainers should tell, we call them the gatekeepers.
Come on.
And the gatekeepers is, and what people don't understand, all of us out here on the stage, and the gatekeeper is the person that sit back and say, okay, we want you. And they'll pick that one person and give all the opportunities to. And if you would sit there and criticize that person, then you're hating on them. But we like, no, this is not the most talented person of the bunch. And some people, God frail, some go through the door and close the door behind them. Close the window behind. Some people leave the window up and pull other people through.
Do you see the tide turning now with all the ethnic casting? I mean, we asked Isaiah Washington that yesterday when he came and stopped by, too. So do you see it turning? Because you're starting to see a lot more faces of color and different ethnicities all over television and some of the movies, too.
Well, what I would ask you to do, Deja Vu, when you go home tonight, put your TV on channel 0. And then turn it all the way up to channel 100 and see just how many faces of color you see. It's like when we get more than 2, it's a lot. Do you see all of these colorful people on TV?
Right.
You can do the math for yourself.
Right.
And you'll then say, at what point do we get to a place where we really want to represent what America looks like?
Okay.
Not just, we're going to just use this group right now so we can calm down the noise. Really pay attention to it.
Tell them how important it is to own your own.
Well, when you see shows like Sanford and Son, and you see Good Times, and you see The Jeffersons, and you see these shows that are running 20 years later, somebody's getting that money.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not any of those people.
True.
So you keep saying, well, who's benefiting from this? And how is it that their families are taken care of for generations to come off of your likeness, off of your back? And you get no piece of that. We've gotten so used to benefiting that one time, but we don't benefit 20 years from now. So it's important to have ownership. So when you see your sitcom 20 years from now, you're still receiving the money, not residuals, but you're receiving the ownership from your shows.
Okay. So in accordance with all of that, let's take it back to where Hollywood, you seem like you have to kind of go along with the tide. And when you push against that, there's friction. Has that caused friction for you professionally now? And how will you traverse that now that it's, coming to light? People are saying, oh, you're hard to work with, you're difficult. There's the term being blackballed, being thrown around. Talk to us about that.
I'll ask you so we can have a real conversation as 2 black women.
Come on, girl.
Are you paid fairly here?
I just had to get my pay up. I just had, and it's barely, and it ain't nowhere near what this dude is.
That's another thing. She think I'm over. She don't know how much I make. I'm not getting, believe, trust me.
No.
I have to straighten her. When I get here, I'm making a month. And you understand, on the road.
Girl.
I have to straighten her.
Keep it all the way 100. You know how it is. But it was finally time, similar to what you did. I went back and I was like, okay, I put the cards on the table. If you want it, then you do. If you want me, then this is what I want. But if you don't, then I can walk, and I'm okay with that.
Does that make you difficult, or does that make you a smart businesswoman?
It makes me a smart businesswoman, but in tune with how society looks at women, you become the B word. You do become, you're conniving, you're cunning. I was told I was cunning.
And the D too, difficult.
Remember when our mamas told us when we were little girls, sticks and stones?
Break your bones.
But names.
Well, never heard.
So you can say what you want, but it's my bat.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing my bat the
Go
way
ahead,
I need to
girl.
swing my bat. And we have to swing our bats for sisters like myself and for you, for the little girl that's listening right now that wants to get into radio, and you're saying, hey, baby, make sure they pay you what your resume says. Now, when you say, well, I have to decline that because the numbers just don't make sense, they may call you some names, but that's okay. Because how many people do you know that make history and it's an easy ride?
Right.
So I'm not worried about the easy ride. Not that I'm looking to make history. All I'm saying is, you got to pay me my resume, baby. And if you don't want to do that and we respectfully decline, well, people look at me and they say, how are you saying no? Because don't you know what you look like?
Right.
You're a woman, you're black, and you're big. And you going to say no? Because the opportunities just aren't thrown your way. I have to say no when it doesn't make sense and believe enough in me that the right one's going to come and it's going to make sense. And it's called Blackbird, April 24th.
Go ahead,
and
girl.
theaters this Friday.
That's right.
See how she put it back in there? See how she put it back in there?
She has never wavered. That, if anybody know about Monique, and I'm gonna tell you right now, she's gonna stand by her guns.
Okay.
That is, she did since the day I met her and to the end. So tell me about Blackbird. Tell me about your movie. Tell us about it.
Blackbird Quake is this coming of age story.
Okay.
About a young black man growing up in the deep South in Mississippi.
Okay.
And he's trying to deal with his sexuality.
All right.
He comes from a very strict Christian background. And what he's always been told about homosexuality, it's a sin, it's a curse, and you are condemned to hell. So this baby is fighting with that inwardly. Now he has a mama, who I play, and she believes everything in the Bible and everything on the pulpit. So when she finds out that this baby is gay, she thinks he is the most disgusting thing on the face of this earth. That woman is also dealing with the abduction of her daughter. Her baby been missing for some years, but the faith that she stands by, she believes that one day this baby is going to come home. So this woman is dealing with the sexuality of her son, the missing of her daughter,
Right.
and the separation of her marriage, because Isaiah Washington plays the father.
Right.
And when you see Isaiah in this script, personally, I believe Isaiah Washington is one of the greatest actors of our time, because everything that brother does, you believe it. I don't care what he play. He can be a doctor, a bum, whatever Isaiah is playing, baby, you believe it. But he does not play the stereotypical dad that just hates their baby when they find out they're gay. He loves his baby through it. So you get a chance to see this beautiful relationship between these two men, which we oftentimes don't see, but they're out there.
Right.
It's not a unique situation. We just don't show it. So it's so many different dynamics in this movie. It's dealing with teen pregnancy, suicide. It's dealing with a pastor who can run his church and everybody in it, but can't take care of his own family.
Girl.
So you get to see the dynamic of behind the doors. You get to see the dynamic behind this Christian-based family and how they really deal with it.
All right, listen, before you go for real, though, we got to get the tea on Cookie, Empire, Lee Daniels. What happened with that? Is the friendship severed? Is it over because of all the drama that took place? And break it down for us.
Once I say I'm your friend to the end. And we've all had that friend. I've been that friend that have gone to the left.
Girl.
And you say, okay, when you get yourself together, guess
Come
who's going
holla
to be
at
here?
me.
Come on, holla at me. That's how I feel about Lee Daniels. The situation with Empire, it was what it was. And the reason why people say, well, Monique, why would you speak out? Because I can't allow anyone to defame my character.
Do you think that's committing career suicide, though, right now, with everybody looking and like everybody's all on it?
I hear you speaking a lot about career. I have children. And what we say to our children is make sure you always stand up for what's right and don't let anyone bully you. Now, when I get to the end of this journey, will I be talking about my career Or will I be talking about the life lessons that we shared with our family, and now our sons have their own families? So when people say career suicide, I don't believe in that, because you can't determine my destiny.
At
That's
all.
mine.
Go ahead, girl.
Okay, so when we throw things out there like that, if you buy into it, then guess what? That's like saying there are no good men. If you believe it, then that's what it's going to be. I don't believe in that.
All right.
And long as you're a comedian,
Come on, we're not ever going to go hungry, baby.
we ain't never going
Never.
hungry. It's a stage somewhere. Somebody want to hear a joke.
Come
And
on.
wait a minute, one more question though before you go. One more thing. We keep asking one more thing. Where are the twins? We never see the little babies. Where they at? How old are they now?
They ain't little.
How old are they? Has it been that long?
David and Jonathan, the twins, are 9. Michael's 11, and Shalon's 25.
See?
Dang.
And the reason why no one's ever seen them, because I remember my oldest baby saying to me, "That's what you want." You never took the time out to ask me, did I want to be on red carpets? Did I want to take photo shoots? I wasn't interested in that.
Right.
But because I'm mommy, you just got to do it. Well, lesson learned. So I'm not asking anyone, show me pictures of your babies, because they your babies. They my babies. So when we ready, you'll see them.
All right.
That's my girl.
Monique be checking folks in here on the
Oh,
slide.
she
Baby,
from
I ain't
Illinois.
ask you for no pictures of yours.
But not checking. It's just a real kind of conversation
You're right,
that we're
absolutely.
so afraid to have.
Yes.
That's all. I'm
Hey,
just
man,
a regular
I am
sister.
not.
No
Yes,
different
she
from
is.
the girl at the Popeyes at the drive-thru.
With a 2-piece spicy
I
white.
used to work there.
Hey,
Baby,
boy.
listen.
Kill them wings.
Baby,
Monique,
listen
damn
here.
now.
The pride in my job at the drive-thru and Popeyes. Listen, I always knew I was going to be an entertainer, because I would take that microphone, baby, and I would take so much joy. Welcome to Popeyes. My name is Monique. What would you be having today?
Monique, you know what I want.
What you
Make
want?
sure you put some honey on that biscuit.
Would you like a nice hot apple pie with that, sir?
Please.
Come on round to the window.
Oh, what about my strawberry soda?
Oh, baby, would you like extra ice or no ice at all?
Don't put all that ice. I want all my strawberry
Come
soda.
on, sip up on it.
I'm going to sip it till you go,
Bring it on around then, sugar.
I'm coming. How much I owe you?
Don't even worry about it. It's at the window.
Oh, how you doing, Miss Crank? Y'all put your hands together one more time for my girl.
Blackbird in
Yeah.
theaters April 24th.